classic vamping until I think
for sure.
there's actually people in the, or like the people who want to get in can actually get in, because it's usually not good at that. I got to at the channel too, because I'm in a badman. Dude, I was a real badman today. We are all real
Yeah, I was
badmans.
driving. I was driving. I was
I
hoping you
don't
guys
even
would
know what
get it.
my excuse was. I can't remember.
I was picking up someone from the hospital because they had a kid.
I mean,
Yeah, I don't know.
why? Um, why would you want like do that? Just don't tell them to not have a kid.
That's true. I mean, they are
Uh,
younger than us, so that's true.
it's weird to
One
think
just
people
turned
younger
18.
than me are having
No, no,
kids.
no, no. One just turned 18, Tyler.
Wait, what?
One just turned 18.
Her kid
One of them.
or
One of the parents.
oh, I mean, I'm not about to judge their life choices.
I mean, I love them. They're good people.
Well, I sent out the at channel. You probably just saw that.
I did. We need the we live.
We live.
There we go.
Just wait till I get change the we live to please use your Twitch Prime. I need your money.
No, no, yeah, drop us a follow with Twitch Prime. That's how you gotta
Yeah,
change it.
and subscribe with Twitch Prime. Jim, did you have a pick that draft? I don't think so.
I don't believe he did. Doesn't look like. I'm pretty sure he was one of the Cowboys trades.
Uh, I think, yeah. Anyways, that's enough vamping. I'm sure YouTube's like, the people on YouTube are getting annoyed with us, and I'm sure the people on Twitch are getting annoyed with us
It's true.
for vamping. So, um, this is the 2020 official redraft. So, like, we're going through the first draft of AGML this year and going through what could have been done better, maybe some people you missed, and just point out some of the best studs in this class. I mean, I hate to say it's not as stud filled as I would have hoped, especially for a first draft. I got my studs. I'm happy. I don't like this redraft much because of that. Cause
I definitely look at back at it with like rose-colored glasses after looking at
it was a
before.
fun one.
It was
It
a
was
good
kind
one.
of our
It was
first
pretty good.
draft. Me and Alex. It was kind of our first real draft in charge that was meaningful. So I don't know. I like it. But and I mean, we'll talk about it later. But my performance overall is pretty decent. But so I might like it a little too much. But first off, we start with me, and I picked with this first pick the legendary Derek McCarron. Currently he is at 85, not including morale. I believe he's like 86 or 87 with morale right now. He's pretty happy. But he's a superstar, drafted star. Um, would you pick someone else, Alex?
No, no. McCarron is by far the most prolific passer that's ever been drafted.
I
He's
mean,
number. I mean, so far,
I like
right? He
Dowdy.
is.
I like Dowdy
I think he will overtake him. I think
potentially.
McCarron's spot, but looking at it right now, he is the best drafted quarterback in terms of yards, in
Hmm.
terms of touchdowns. I do love Dowdy. I think he will catch up
Sure,
unless McCarron really turns it on. But I think total yardage, though, if we were to look at rushing as well, McCarron probably has Dowdy beat.
sure.
So
Um,
I think he goes down as one of the best quarterbacks drafted.
the biggest reason McCarron. I mean, even when I picked him, I had a lot of doubts. Like I needed to get Dev with McCarron. It was so important that I got Dev because I mean he had good stats. He looked good, but he had that dreaded 24 years of age number on his profile, and that was really scary. At least when I drafted him, and I'm like, please just have Dev, and even like now he's already 28, and we're about halfway through the Madden cycle, maybe a little under, but I mean he's already 28, so he'll be pretty elderly towards the end of Madden. I don't have plans to get rid of him at all. This is like full transparency, because why would I? The way he plays every week, he
Going
like
on a
his
career
worst
year right
years
now.
are great. So
80% completion percentage right now.
uh, I couldn't see myself taking anyone else, especially with how this quarterback class was. There's no second choice really. I mean, other than uh Kilgore, who's Kilgore. I think Kilgore's still starting for Indianapolis,
Yes.
but
Yes, he
he
is.
is certainly not McCarron, even though that rookie season looked like it. So I think Alex and I are in agreement. Derek McCarron would still go first, and whoever, I mean, I would get him. But if anyone else had that number one pick, God bless Easton Stick for helping me out there. Uh, I think they would love to have him. Next up, we have the Vikings at number two overall. Were they really the second overall pick? Seems off, but I think it's real.
No, no, they were. Yep.
Huh.
What would they think? What happened with Skull about that? How did that happen? I think.
Oh my
Uh,
god. I just uh I don't you weren't it wasn't your pick. That's a different year.
no, that was not my pick. No.
That was another year you almost traded a top pick. Uh
Yeah.
but was it I don't know, it's weird to think that that team I guess he kind of blew it up early. But I mean another
If
this one
if I remember correctly, I think he traded with someone
sure.
early on in the season, and traded
Sure.
that pick for like a future and something like that. If I remember correctly, because he was 6-10
Yeah.
that first year. He definitely wasn't by record the uh, the number two overall pick,
Yeah.
but he did draft at the number two spot. So
But
it's hard to go back.
here I don't think there's any question of who's gonna go second overall, and I think this dude's probably the best player in the this draft, like talent wise. I mean, overall wise, he is. He's the is he the first player to reach 90, or did another class beat him to it?
I think the next class did.
Did they? Cool.
Hmm.
Yeah, this class isn't exactly mind blowing, but Malcolm Grant, solid pick. Uh, he started out, I think, a superstar. I don't think he was born
He
an
had to
X
have been, yeah.
Factor, because we did not have a first round X Factor. But I don't know. There's not a whole lot to say. His first year, his rookie year, didn't wasn't the most impressive, but then next year he just killed it. Got all those sacks in. No,
He's been a consistent force after that second year. He really came on strong. He got the X factor. Probably around 2021 after his 12 sack season, but consistently since then he's put up 7 sacks, 6 sacks, 7 sacks. He already has 7 sacks this year,
ooh.
and we're halfway through, so he's on pace for a career high 14 right now.
Keep it
And
up, Malcolm.
yeah, keep it up, Malcolm. We'll see you most likely in the playoffs again.
I mean, it's Cody. I,
And
I,
that's what I'm
he has
saying.
plenty of playoffs ahead of him. Uh, I couldn't see him not being a perennial
Yeah.
playoff contender with Cody.
But the reason why I have him going number two, especially to the Vikings, is what Skull has done for that defensive line.
Hmm.
He traded for Joey Bosa.
Yeah,
He
that was
traded for
spendy.
Khalil Mack.
That was spendy.
He, but that's on right. And then, so he obviously wanted this god defensive front. Well, while Jupin is good and is one of the best tackles in this class, I think if he could take back that Khalil Mack trade
Yeah,
and replace that with Malcolm Grant, I think he would do that in a heartbeat.
yeah. Because I
And that
mean,
allowed him,
Grant will
yeah.
last the rest of Madden easy,
Mhm. Mhm.
and he'll be a mainstay. I could realistically, I mean, it's early to talk about Hall of Fame right now, but I mean, just because he has the years on him, being the first draft class. I think Grant could be a realistic shot at Hall of Fame if his career continues.
Yeah.
Next up, we have Titans. They picked an okay pick. They picked Rod Ellington. Rod's all right, 82 overall star. I
Hmm.
don't think he'd pick Rod though, if he got the chance. Not because Rod's not one of the better players this class, but there's some good studs this class, and I think he would take if given a second chance, Charles Hewitt. Uh, Pretty much because that age, he's one of the younger high up players. He's only 25 right now, so like comparing that to McCarron, who's 28. I love McCarron, but they're kind of on the opposite side of the age range. But he's a
Yeah.
superstar, 85 overall, and I think just based off the rest of the class and that age, you're still able to dev him a little longer. I think Hewitt is the pick you go if you're.
I have to agree with you. I think it's Hewitt. He was drafted by the Broncos, who seem to have a knack for drafting amazing defensive linemen. He just got his superstar ability. We talked about Hall of Fame for Malcolm Grant, possibly. I think
Yeah,
Charles Hewitt, if he continues this, he is tied for first in career sacks already. He's second behind Josh Allen, who's has a year on him, and he's tied for him right now.
right,
But
and
he
that's
is.
including the Madden create or non the real life player bias.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it exists, guys. But no,
Yeah.
looking at those numbers, he's consistently
Yeah.
like he already has six this year.
Yep.
That's
Again,
pretty.
if I didn't like Grant for the long haul, right, with his X
Oh
factor,
yeah.
his 90, I think he just performs more consistently than Hewitt, and I think eventually he'll catch up to him. But
Uh
in
huh.
terms of like a breakout kind of push, he's averaged 9 sacks a year.
Yeah.
Every single year, he's averaged 9 sacks. Um, and he's only getting better. He's still 25. I think Charles Hewitt is one of the locks for the Hall of Fame right now.
Oh yeah. I mean, we'll see how it pans out. Of course, when we're gonna vote for that, you're gonna take into account how long did they play? Because like if someone has that many sacks, but or number wise more sacks, but they don't got the in time they got more seasons to play. I mean, you have to take that into account. But I mean, if he keeps up this 9, 10 sacks a season, I mean, it's hard to deny that.
Yeah.
But next up, we have Broncos, who uh, just took who we were just talking about, fourth overall, Hewitt. So unfortunately, Salsa would be sad to hear he cannot pick Hewitt again, because I think Hewitt helped him become one of the bigger AFC powerhouses the last few years. But instead, we had to pick another player for Salsa. So personally, this is the first one Alex and I disagree with, kinda. Um, I think he takes a right tackle here. I think the end talent is a little dried up for this high up, and there's some really good tackles. Uh, I think he takes Damon Clement, initially drafted 10th overall. Clement is a superstar. He's only 26 currently. And he's still I mean, it's hard to talk much about O line. It's not that interesting, but you kind of need it. It's important to keeping your quarterback upright. I think Clement is one of the better O line we've seen, being a superstar, and Devon uh, tackles and O line in general is really important because it's difficult to gain it.
I see us still running with ends here. I see they take the third best, James Flowers, currently with Indianapolis.
Hmm.
Drafted in the third round, superstar. He hasn't put up the career stats that I like. I love his potential. Started out as a 68 and then moved on up to a 77 in or 74 the following year. So I think he was a natural superstar coming in. And
Yeah,
I think with Bradley Chubb there, I think that elevates uh, what Charles Hewitt did. I think the same thing would happen with James Flowers.
sure. Who took him again?
The Colts took him
Colts.
in the
Yeah, yeah,
third
Colts.
round as a
Good pick
natural
though.
superstar.
I mean,
Yeah, very good pick.
he's a good dude. Next up, we have the Redskins. This used to be back in the day when Dak was still the GM. He took kind of one of the first bad players of this draft. Alan Favors, not a good dude. He only ended up being, or at least panned out being, a 76 overall normal. And for a top 5 pick, that's not what you want to see. Um, so I have him taking uh, Robbie Jupin, who was initially taken number 2 overall by Viking Skull. Jupin, again, he's O line. Not a lot to say about it. He's 88 overall star, so he's pretty good. One of the better user drafted O line you can get. I, I think here, good value, a great talent.
I have to agree with you. I think at that point, you still saw something in Dwayne Haskins,
Yeah.
and it's a shame. I mean, he's doing okay. He's not really putting up touch. I shouldn't actually say okay. He's not even throwing for 60% completion. But I think, unfortunately, Haskins has just been beaten his entire career. He already has 15 sacks. If he was able to get Jupin after his rookie year,
Mhm.
I think Haskins might have flowered into something real. So I think Redskins would want another shot at that.
Yeah, he would definitely James Flower into something better if he had a.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good pun. Sorry, I have to acknowledge that. Um,
Wait, what? Oh
Next up,
yeah.
I'm picking the pun man himself, James Flowers. um, it's not even that funny. I hate myself. Uh, but no, I picked James Flowers for Rob. Just because that, I mean, at some level that talent is too undeniable. The real reason let him let someone this with this good of overall fall is because I don't think he puts up his overall on the field. Like if you look at his sacks, he hasn't had more than 5 in a season, and I know it's a scheme thing, but he's not even getting that many tackles either. So, and he's not getting forced fumbles. I don't know where that talent's going. And maybe there's probably a lot of like the intangibles, the things like the pressures that it doesn't get tracked, and like 88 overall certainly, or actually he's not 88, he's 86. I misread it. Uh, Even then, his overall just isn't what is better than what his stats are, and I like him, but I don't think he's top 5 worthy. But I think he's worthy for top 6 here.
I have to go with Damon Clement. I think going with Rob, he did take a center in Giles before. I think there was a reason for that. He
Hmm.
really wanted to beef up this O line early on before he was able to take a quarterback in and everything that and groom him like he is now.
Sure.
And Clement as a superstar, like you said, on the Jets, I think Rob would salivate at having a superstar offensive lineman right
For
now.
sure. I mean, I clearly love him. I would take him number 3 overall.
Yeah.
Uh, Next up, we have Brady. And Brady, he took the right dude, I think.
Mhm.
Joey Grissom went number 7 overall, and I think he would pick Joey Grissom again. He's been a pretty decent not like numbers wise, it's like not as impressive as you might think for what he could potentially do, but he's a very consistent receiver. I think the talent's there, it's hard to turn this down, especially with what's left. I think Joey Grissom is a great pick um, for Brady. I wouldn't change a thing.
Yeah, I loved this pick when he first announced it because Brady was gone. Not GM Brady, but Tom Brady was gone. They had the young N'Keal Harry,
Hmm.
and why not pair him with Joey Grisham to kind of boost those wide receivers for when he did eventually grab Rocco Gardner, who
Yep.
is flourishing right now. The wins are he's 4-3. He's he's in the hunt. The Dolphins are the Dolphins, unfortunately, but right now he's in the wild card spot at midway point, and
Yeah.
that's I think a lot has to do with how he's planned this whole offense with Grisham to start out.
Next up, we have the first of Cody's many picks this draft. His dynasty of picks. Surprisingly, having more than me, who I was like, I have a lot of picks. I had 3 draft picks. Cody has 4. And the first one is left end, or he picked left end Malcolm Grant. Went up. We in the redraft we had him going 2 consensus. It's hard to replace someone that influential in a defense, but we're gonna try really hard. We're giving him Haynes, my boy Rashad Haynes. Uh, Again, when I drafted Haynes, uh, I was drafting with the nursing home. He was 24 as well. I and that's kind of why people overlooked him when I originally picked him. He fell to 25 to me, and his talent, his talent, should it was something that should have been like top 10 in my opinion. Coming out of
I
the
agree, yeah,
draft.
for sure.
But again, 24 scares people. I'll gladly take him. And he quickly became an X Factor after his rookie season. It's like, bam, X Factor. So the age kind of hampered his development. Too bad he couldn't get to the upper echelons of that, even with Dev. It's just by the time he got X Factor, he's already 25. Uh, so it sucks he couldn't get a little better. I didn't focus Dev him as much as I probably should have either. But he's still a force to be reckoned with. He didn't get that X Factor for no reason. I love him to death. I hope he never leaves my team, or at least until the very twilights of this season's AGML. But uh, yeah, Rashard Harrington's number 8 to replace Malcolm Grant, X Factor for an X Factor. Not a bad deal.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I think Cowboys would love to have someone in their backfield right now, like Rashard Haynes. I think that that is something that they seem to be missing a lot of
Yep.
right now, and I think, especially early on, Rashard Haynes would be amazing. And maybe instead of with that pick, he might steal a Super Bowl. He might have stolen a
Ooh, a
Super Bowl from
Tato,
Geno
yeah.
with that pick.
It's
He
the
might have
what
taken one.
if.
Rashard Haynes, he's a playmaker. I like him. He's always around the
Again, yeah,
ball.
getting X Factor that rookie season was really
And
impressive.
he's in the same conference, so there's no doubt he would have gotten it anyway.
Yeah.
So,
Next up, we have Cowboys again, actually.
hmm
Again, mountain of picks. Uh, and initially he took Gerard Givens. Givens did not pan out the way we thought he might, especially as linebacker. But linebacker, I like the thought of linebacker. Linebacker is a very important spot. And while who I picked for him might not be the best player left overall wise, I think Cordell Bagley at 83 overall, one of the best user drafted uh, linebackers, is a must draft here. Again, uh, linebacker is a really scarce position to draft, and it's people are not willing to give it up for cheap. So I think grabbing Bagley, who's a superstar now, only 26, puts up some pretty decent numbers. Gets us. Uh, he hasn't been quite as electric as of late as from his early seasons, but I think it's hard to deny Bagley, especially when like the other linebackers drafted throughout this Madden are nowhere near the level he is.
Yeah, I think Cody did draft a middle linebacker. I think Bagley's fit perfectly for the middle linebacker role. I think he's better off than he is as his outside linebacker, to be honest. He has that superstar ability unfakeable, which is the can't get faked out by moves.
Hmm.
And I think that's exactly what you want as a middle linebacker. So the running back runs straight up, right? He's gonna try and juke you out. Bagley's like, no, I don't do that. So he would have in this redraft he would have had an X factor ball hawking safety with an amazing middle linebacker
Yeah,
that he
yeah,
wouldn't have
yeah.
to go grab who does he have now? Bobby Wagner? An
Uh,
old decrepit Bobby Wagner. He has to now because
I
of the
think
Givens
so.
pick didn't pan because unfortunately the Givens pick didn't pan out for him. Uh, but I think Bagley would have been and the Haynes Bagley combo would have been a scary 1-2 punch.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. Next up we have Josh. Which one? The Jets. Uh, and he took Damon Clement, one of the uh best O line drafted this Madden. But I think he instead of drafting O line, I don't think the talent's quite as good as Durham was. But I think he takes the. Maybe he wouldn't because it's a tight end. Tight end isn't exactly known for being the most valuable position. I love a good first round tight end. I think I think you have to go
Nice.
Durham. Uh, he's an undrafted tight end.
Mm-hmm.
Durham is kind of a legend in that regard. He was raffled off. I think Brian got him.
Brian
Uh,
did get him.
and it's hard to turn down a young superstar uh, at any position. But Kent Durham, uh, such an impact player. I think he's basically keeping Brian's whatever quarterback he's throwing out there these days afloat. A good, reliable target and a
Love you,
lot of
love you, Brian.
inconsistency. I do like Kent Durham, and
I I just can't I can't take a tight end in the top 10. I can't.
lame,
I think the Jets would
lame.
take Mark. I think the Jets would take Mike Giles.
You'll
Well,
take
Kent Durham would
center,
be.
not a tight end.
I think they keep with this O line. I think they really wanted to give protection for Josh Rosen. At that point, they still had Le'Veon Bell. Oh my God,
Yeah,
excuse me. Um, and Mark Giles is a very good run blocking offensive lineman as well. The
sure.
Jets had a plan with that early on by taking Clement. I think they would stick with that and go Giles.
Yeah.
He's done admirably.
Next up, we have Brady back at it again. Lots of multiple picks. People either want to get the vets this draft or want to acquire picks. You know, I mean, I don't. It's always fun to do that at the beginning of the Madden. Uh, Personally, I think Brady will take one of the best players left with Deshaun Perry, the strong safety. I don't know. He's not a lot to say about Perry. I like him quite a bit. He's 82 overall, and just a stud in the backfield. I don't think right now. Oh, there's still a couple options at corner. You could go instead, but I think Perry has is a force to be reckoned with in that age. Still pretty young. I mean, since 2021 season, had 4 interceptions. That's something. He's a
Hmm.
ball hawk. He knows how to find the ball. I think Deshaun Perry is a good option here.
How badly would Brady kill for a tight end right now, and for Rocco.
Ooh,
That's like it's his weak point on offense.
yeah.
Is he's starting Ricky Seal Jones. Eh, if he grabbed Kent Durham right here to pair with Joey Grisham,
So you'll take a tight
that's
end number 11,
yeah. Well, a
but not
tight end
top
should never go
10.
top 10.
That's
Tight
the
end should never go
limit.
top 10.
Like, I won't do it top 10. I'll do it top 11.
Exactly. Um, that would if everything remained constant outside of that, the offense would be 26, 87 overall Harry, 25, 84 overall Grisham, 78, 21 overall Jalen Burley, and 25 overall Kent Durham as well at tight end. Superstar tight end. Um, I believe a superstar in N'Keal Harry at this point.
Sure.
No, he's still a star, but still, that's just a young core with Rocco flinging the ball wherever he pleases. Yes, tight end should not go top 10 entirely.
But you'll go top 11. I think Baby
Hmm.
Driver was. Ah.
He was
Or
not.
was that my other pick?
He
Was
was in the
that.
20. He was in the 20s.
He was not in the 20s. He
Moving
was he
on.
was
We'll
like
figure
top
out later.
11 or something. He was
Okay.
around there. I
Okay.
picked him pretty early. Um, for the Bengals, we have Dylan, and he picked Bagley originally. And Bagley, again, we were discussing this earlier, one of the best linebackers drafted so far. So unfortunately, not available for him to pick. Obviously, I'd pick him in a heartbeat again if I was
Hmm.
Dylan and given the opportunity. So instead, I'm giving him the center uh, that I picked the tight end over, Mark Giles. I think Giles is just good, pretty good O line. I hate doing the O line redraft because it's kind of a nap time. There's not a lot. There's like I can like talk about sack. Wait, I can't even talk about sacks given
Nope,
up
that
because
doesn't
he's a
show it.
setter. Because he's a setter.
Yep.
I don't know. He's a guy. He's he keeps the O line happy. I don't know.
So I would give the Bengals, sticking on defense, I'd give them Rod Ellington, the original number 3 overall pick. Now, he was one of the best overall drafted players, and I think he was the top overall player in the draft at 79. Unfortunately, he didn't dev. He,
Ooh, was
right?
he
That's what I'm
really
saying. He was the
79?
best. Yep, he was 79 coming out.
Wow. All
He,
right,
that's
maybe
that's why
that
that's why he
actually
was
I
like,
didn't know that. I would have probably
yeah,
had him picked higher had I known he
at
was. I
at
remembered he was
23.
79 because
Yeah,
again that's a force to be reckoned with. And if
yeah. I
someone
don't.
like a
Yeah.
cornerback whisperer could get behind him
Mm-hmm.
and be like, "This is how you cover," maybe he would have turned out better.
Yep. I think he would have on the Titans. I think or on the Bengals. I think on the Titans, it was kind of a for Tyler. It was a pick that wasn't a need. He
Yeah.
already had two good corners, right? So in
Uh
his in
huh.
his rookie year, he's slot, and he only had 10 tackles,
Yeah.
right? Like that's not how you start out a rookie year,
Not at all.
especially for the number 3 overall pick. You expect him to start right away, and he didn't, unfortunately. Uh, he grew. He didn't even have a pick until his second year. Um, but I think on the Bengals, given a team that needed a corner, he would have walked in as the number 1
Mhm.
most likely. And I think Rod Ellington has a completely different career if the Bengals take him at
For
12.
sure. Knowing we'll talk about Ellington in a few picks. Uh, I should probably preface that with uh having now learned the knowledge that he or remembered the knowledge
Hmm.
he was 79 overall.
He was
I
the
may have
best
placed him
player in
higher
the
up, but
draft.
I made this mock draft before that knowledge or came back to me. So
Hmm.
it is what it is. Next up,
All right.
uh, we have Colts, and the Colts. Nick, he originally took Cornell Melton. Not a bad pick, but not quite as
Not at all.
explosive as his other late round pick or later round pick Flowers turned out to be. Melton's fine. Got cursed with the normal dev, but it's was just an alright pick. But I think he could do a little better here. I think he, if given the shot, he would take who was originally taken by Brady at number 11 overall. He would take Skylar Dawson. Not even the most talented person left by far. There's a lot more talent left, even before learning about Ellington's original overall. I think Ellington would still be a better player uh, now, but O line or not O line, uh, linebacker, such a coveted position. It's so hard to get a good linebacker right now, and I think it's just hard to say no when the talent's there, and especially with the hindsight of seeing how dry O line or not. Why do I keep saying O line? A linebacker, outside linebacker. Uh, you're gonna have to pick him here just so you can get that value and not have to worry about it down the line when that value might not be around.
I think the Colts go Jalen Patterson, originally picked 18th overall. He has been so consistent throughout his career with Will Greer and Teddy Bridgewater and now Kincaid.
I mean, it's
Uh,
Teddy.
and he did well. He did well under
I
Teddy.
mean, Teddy
Uh,
just boosts stats. We know that.
yeah, exactly. But in his rookie year alone, he almost caught 100 passes from Will Greer. Imagine if he was paired with T.Y. Hilton and Andrew Luck in that
Sure.
offense. Maybe Andrew Luck doesn't leave. I heard there were rumors that it's because he was getting no offensive help. Maybe with Jalen Patterson, he doesn't. That doesn't happen. I
Mm-hmm.
think Jalen Patterson's one of the best receivers drafted,
Oh yeah.
and the Colts.
No
I
question.
think the Colts go all in on offense because they had a decent defense coming in. I like Melton, but to get a true number two for Andrew Luck with Ebron and Hilton and Mack, and that offense would have been so explosive.
Oh, undoubtedly. Next up, we have Cowboys again. We can't keep Cody out of our mouth today. He has way too many picks, especially early picks, and they did a
hmm
lot for him. They picked Perry. I'm high. I was really high on Perry. Fortunately, Perry's taken, but they did get a nice little bonus dude. Probably a little better than Perry, Shard Haynes. At least that's what we both mocked him.
They did. Yes, I agree.
And here I finally take Rod. I think Rod, uh, even without knowing he started at 79 overall, still a killer corner. Even if he started out like low 70s, I think here would be 14's really a nice spot. And even if he was devved properly, like Cody definitely would. Cody knows how
hmm
to train a defensive back, treat him right, take him out for dinner. You know, uh, Rod in good hands probably could be one of the best defensive backs in the league, but sadly we don't know that potential. But Rod would be a steal at 14.
Yeah. Originally, I had who I thought was the Bears pick for Deshaun Perry because I liked him. But I think with Rashad Haynes going to the Cowboys, I think we switch it up here, and I think he goes outside linebacker Ronaldo Brothers.
Nice.
He already has a great free safety in Haynes. There's no reason to double up on that. He took an outside linebacker, which I think he would have coveted into the middle, and now I think he takes Ronaldo Brothers, who before last season, who fell off the career sacks list,
Yeah.
and I think he'll get back there eventually. I think he converts him down to what Malcolm Grant was. Ronaldo Brothers is a beast on the defensive line. He racked up 8 sacks last year. He's consistently grown taller and higher, and originally was drafted pick number 30, which I think is a steal considering he's pushing up on that all-time sack list already.
Oh yeah.
So he addresses every level of defense. I think Cody would absolutely love that, like he did in the original draft, just in an opposite order.
For sure. Next up we have it's Kevin. We got Kevin here, and he
Yes,
picked initially with a center, and the center again Jacob Rowlands. I mean he's eh, very eh.
it was a. I remember it being a weird pick at the time, very questionable pick at the time,
I
and
mean
it remains
76 overall
questionable to
normal,
this
not
day.
what you want with this high of a pick. Um, but I mean I think you could do better. I
Hmm.
think I guess by now he already traded away Lamar. But you
He did.
gotta
Yep.
give you had this dream of a chosen Rosen.
Hmm.
This one man will rise above and bring the
He's not
Ravens
doing.
to greatness.
He's not
Uh,
doing bad. I think he's. I think he's still starting somewhere
Rosen is still starting in Cincinnati.
in Cincinnati, right? Yeah. Okay.
Yep. But he needs help. He needs help. Uh, and Hollywood can only do so much. So we're
Except he.
bringing him Jalen
Yeah.
Patterson. Again,
Yes.
a perennial uh, guy flirting with 1,000 yards every season for the most part.
I
Uh,
think Hollywood Brown was also gone.
well, oh yeah, he was gone. He was
Yes, he's
shipped
on the.
out. I
He's on the.
forgot.
He was
He
gifted
shipped
off to
out
the
like
Cowboys.
everyone, and then brought in
Yeah.
Rosen. It's like, oh,
Yep. And had
he
him do it with no one.
right.
Had him do it with no one.
I don't know. Just he's been like I think have giving him Patterson. Uh, mind you,
Hmm.
his older brother Cordero, another first round talent, didn't quite make a mark as a receiver that Jalen did. Uh, but this Patterson's a bit better at receiving and not just returning kicks. So I think it's a good pick.
I agree with getting Rosen help. That's not a bad offensive lineman. I see them going Lance Reese, the original Bills pick at 21. He is an 85 star. He's a great body tight end. You know how the Ravens love their tight ends.
Oh yeah,
Uh, doesn't have any tight ends now, but I think he would have kept Reese on. And I mean, Reese is for a tight end's production. He is insane. Three 800 or more yards per season outside of one. Five or more touchdowns every year. I think that's exactly what Rosen needed before before was it Kevin failed him. Almost called you Kyle. Sorry.
rip. Nah. No, yeah. Reese is a good pick. I'm a sucker for a good tight end.
Hmm.
We'll see where I'll put him. Maybe a little too far down, but eh. Next up we have Dylan again, getting lots of multiple picks. He picked right guard Rashawn Edens. 77 normal. He's fine. He's all right. Nothing to write home about. I wouldn't be the happiest with that pick. Uh,
No.
Instead, I have him going Ronaldo brothers. Uh, no, I had him going Giles earlier. So instead of him, who originally took line outside linebacker, and now with his second pick went O line, I went O line first. Now he's getting a great talent with Ronaldo brothers for me.
Hmm.
Uh, just undeniable how good at pass rushing, good at tackling. He can do it all. I like him.
I see the Bengals. They go for me, Rod Ellington, who again I think uh, progresses differently if he would be on the Bengals. I see they double down on defensive backs and they go to Sean Perry, who was originally drafted higher, 2 picks before them. He's really sad about that. Comes in young, 22 of age. He really beefed out in that second year. I think with that combination of Ellington and Perry in that backfield, it'd
Yeah.
make that Bengals defense a lot scarier than it
Oh,
is right now.
undoubtedly. Next up, we have Rob back at it again. And sadly, he took Jalen Patterson here. It's a very
Mm-hmm.
sad day he doesn't get Jalen again. Um, Instead, I have him mocked. My guy, my third pick, I in this draft, or who I picked. Actually, this dude was my fourth pick. He was drafted 2-1, the first pick outside of the first round this draft.
Yes.
Um, but he's my third pick, or who I actually picked to be in this uh chart. So pretty proud of these boys. But it's Kevin Vasher. And Vasher,
Mm-hmm.
his stats aren't as good as they really deserve to be. I let him play under names like Mike Evans, Nelson Aguilar, who played amazingly, and just kept him from being that number one, number two guy. Um, this year, he's killing it. Like, absolutely murdering
Mm-hmm.
it. Like, he's averaging 18.1 yards a reception after, like, barely. I guess he early on he flirted with 15, but he already has 4 touchdowns. He's just killing it. He's like, screw you, Nelson Aguilar. I'm the one. I'm the man here. And McCarron likes him. McCarron's loving him. I'm glad this resurgence is coming here, and I think Rob or in Patterson's situation, uh,
Oh yeah.
I think Vasher would definitely put up Patterson numbers for sure.
Oh, no doubt. I think Vasher in that Oakland offense would be amazing. I didn't realize how good I did. I mean, Vash has always been on my radar in terms of his average per catch,
This
but
year he's just killing it.
he's just I feel like that's not even his full potential. He's the number 3 now, right? He's finally the slot.
I mean, he's always kind of been in the slot, in and
Yeah, but
out
he
of
had
it.
like Aguilar
It
and
depends
you
on
know
what. If I
Evans and
noticed the computer deciding to kick him out, because sometimes the
hmm
computer would just be like, "No, I'm making Aguilar the slot,"
sure.
and it was
Okay.
annoying, and I'd miss it for like weeks because I don't always look at
Yeah.
my slot receivers. Um, but no, he's actually a number two receiver now. I kicked out Aguilar. Aguilar's no longer on the team.
But I'm saying before, like during his development phases, which I mean he's still developing. He's 25. Uh, he was always like that third target, right?
Yep. At
And
I mean,
so,
at best.
yeah, at best he was the third target.
There's sometimes I
But
think for a while that rookie season, for some reason, Perriman was a
it was
little
like,
higher or
yeah, he
something.
was like 4 at some
It was
points. Like I don't
weird.
remember. Yeah, I think I think he has number one potential. I
Oh,
think
for
with that
sure.
height,
When
I
Evans
think
retires,
in Oakland, I think he's a way better fit for Oakland
yeah.
than Jalen Patterson is, to be honest. I think Patterson's great. I just think Vasher has amazing number one potential if he ever leaves Tampa or you
I
finally
forget. I
rise
think
him
I
up.
signed him to
You
like
did.
a 5 year. No, I got only a 4 year. Should have signed him up a little
Yeah.
longer. Uh,
Yeah.
I love him. I'm glad I got him, and I'm not gonna give him up. Next,
I think for Rob's situation though, I think he'd prefer Patterson. Or, I'm sorry, I think he'd prefer Vasher over Patterson because that gives him an actual true number one.
yeah.
instead of Patterson, who's 5'9", he can only really play the slot. Um, Vasher does it all.
hmm And next up, we have Ravens again. Initially,
hmm
we had him going a receiving threat, either tight end or receiver. This time, I think Kevin just likes picking a slight or pretty mediocre O line. I think he goes Derek Colbert. It's probably Colbert, but it's Colbert. Uh, I don't know. It's hard to like see. I don't know. Colbert's like fine. He started out fine. He was a normal. There's a lot of like later round mediocre O line here, but I mean O line's a
Yeah.
need, and people will draft it. So I think
Yes.
an unexciting, uneventful pick, but Derek Colbert. Um, I will not pronounce it Colbert. He's a talk show or late night talk show host. Um, yeah, I don't know.
I think that I agree. I think Ravens will eventually take an offensive lineman. I think they take Shaquille Rucker,
Yeah,
who was taken at 210. He developed phenomenally well. He started out as a 70, and he is
yeah. Same with
ended
Colbert.
his, ended his development at 78. He is a mainstay in that offense for me right now. That has allowed Dak to, I believe, only be sacked 4 times,
hmm
and I think Rucker is a huge reason why for interior pressure, because he's such a great pass blocking guard.
Yeah. Uh, two pretty uneventful O line picks, but
Unfortunately, yeah,
definitely, Kevin needed him, and it'd be better
yeah,
than his true pick of Jeff Winmer at 75 normal.
went nowhere
But yeah, I
unfortunately.
picked Colbert just because of the age over Rucker, but they're both
Yep,
good.
for sure.
Next up, we have Cowboys for unfortunately the final time this podcast.
It's been
It's been
fun.
nice hanging out with you, Cody. Nice talking about your team that unfortunately lost to the Taternator. Uh, Originally you picked Bubba Love. Bubba Love's a decent player, decent safety. This of all the positions in this draft, I think safety is definitely one of the stronger parts of this draft. Some really good safeties. I don't think you're going back to safety though, considering you. I mean, I guess you did initially pick Perry and Bubba, uh,
hmm
but I think you're going Dre Dorsett. I think you don't forget about Dre. Uh, Dre Dorsett is just he's just a beast. He for this late in the game, he's a star. Indianapolis has been liking his services. Maybe not as big of a sack potential as he might want, but again, he's just a beast up the middle. He keeps the pressure on. Dre Dorsett, nice little defensive, and by little, I mean 6'7", 300 pounds. He's a nice little defensive tackle.
I have to agree with you there. I think if Cody grabbed an X Factor free safety, Badgley, who becomes an end next to what's his name, the guy that's actually good, D-Law,
Yeah.
and then also uh, combines that with Dre Dorsett and gets who was it? Oh, Brothers as well. Oh, oh my God, that defense would be deadly.
Yeah.
What a draft to have 4 top 20 picks in it to address that defense.
Oh yeah. No, that would be kind of broke. I mean, it still would be broke. It's not much
Yeah,
different than what he actually did draft.
that's true.
Um, Next up we have Josh, but not the Dolphins. No Dolphins to be found in this draft.
No, no,
We
no.
have the Jets, and
Yes.
this is actually his pick. I don't believe it's his pick at all. Like looking at this original pick, Gabriel Michaels. There's no way. No, he picked him.
Yep, he
What?
did pick him.
Josh, you broke your rule. You broke
Yeah.
your own rule.
Yep.
You picked Gabriel
Yeah.
Michaels.
That's what shocked me too. That's why I was
I
like,
was like
oh.
almost like, oh, maybe I'll bring him back. Nah, you don't get to break your own rule. I will not let you break your own rule, Josh. You're taking. Well, I accidentally. Oh no. I accidentally mocked up the other tight end, but I realized this first pick I gave him
Oh
Durham,
no.
so he's
All
not
right.
picking.
Pick
As much
pick
as I
six.
would love two tight end in the first round by the same team,
Twin tight end set.
uh, that would be sick. That would be the coolest draft ever.
If you could
Taking
actually make that work in the sim, that would be awesome. The
right,
fact that it's just a shame you can't.
kind of like the Aaron Hernandez Gronk sets that
Yes,
like
that would be
terrorized everyone.
amazing.
Like if that
Yeah.
worked in Madden, that would make total sense to having two. I mean, we'll talk about Reese where I'll pick him next. But instead, after vamping there, I've decided that he got not a good defensive tackle, two defensive tackles in a row taken. Uh, Mitch Clinton. Uh, Mitch,
Okay.
despite
Son of
I
Bill.
believe he has normal dev. Sadly, I hate to see great players get hampered by a normal dev. But here, let me looking for his profile. I haven't vamped good enough. Uh, where is he? He's disappeared from. Maybe he's not as good as I thought.
Yes.
Oh, there he is. No, he's good. He's good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Despite having normal dev, he has still climbed the ranks. Uh, he's not getting any snaps this year in Miami, which is a shame because I think he can be a great defensive tackle for anyone, other than probably me. Um, sorry, I shouldn't toot my own horn.
Yeah.
But no, I
He's
like
that
Mitch
redraft's not ready yet.
Clinton, despite the dev. I think if someone played him right in the right scheme, he could definitely get that dev back because he is a great player. Probably deserves a star.
So for Josh, this was the I believe this was the year that he lost Jamal Adams, if I'm not mistaken. He
Oops.
lost him in free agency. Um, some controversy around that, but I think he scrambles and he takes Bubba Love,
Sure.
who I mean, I love Love. I think he's a playmaker. It's a shame he's only normal dev. I'm shocked that he's a normal dev because he definitely
Hmm.
doesn't look like it on the field. He was a 75 coming out,
Yeah.
and in the AFC, I think he might have had a shot at Defensive Rookie of the Year.
Sadly, yeah. There's
Because
other
I mean,
cock
brothers
blocks
brothers
and.
took it originally with 5 sacks and 2 picks. Where Haynes, Haynes did Haynes things his rookie year. But I think Bubba Love might have at least been in good contention in the AFC,
Hmm.
and that could have changed everything. He had 3 interceptions his following year, followed by another 3 interceptions, a pick six after that. He hasn't been doing much this year, but I think the Jets would love to replace Jamal Adams with Bubba Love.
For
Top
sure.
top 5 name, I will say.
Bubba the Love Sponge, yeah. Which
Bubba
is
Love Boat.
next up we have nobody circling the wagons like the Buffalo Bills. And after my mistake of mocking a twin tight end set, I think Bills take their original player of Lance Reese. It's a great pick. I love Lance, and I love tight ends. I probably would have had him higher if people valued tight ends more as much as they deserve. Uh, give tight ends more love, Bubba Love. Yeah, no, he's a quality player. I mean, getting an 85 overall and this late in the redraft is obvious a steal for any player. He's not quite as good as his colleague um, Kent Durham, just because Durham's superstar and still developing. But Lance,
Hmm.
he puts up some good tight end numbers. Like he's only had one full season that wasn't didn't get 80 or 800 yards, and he gets touchdowns. He gets everything you want as a tight end. Love him.
I have the Bills taking Mitch Clinton,
Yep.
pairing that with Ed Oliver. I think they'd move to a 4-3 after that. He came in decent. He was 22, 71 overall. The thing I liked most about him coming out was his strength and his power moves.
Yeah.
Right, like he looked like what could have been what you have down in Tampa, and especially with that defensive front, that combination of Ed Oliver and Clinton could have
Mhm.
been dangerous. Because who's you have Vea and Watson.
Watson, Sharif Watson.
I think this could have been the preemptive Vea Watson D line in
Yeah,
Buffalo. They take this. I think they would like to have that type of pressure up the middle.
for sure. Next up, we have the Lions, and they picked Jeremiah Kilgore. Gave McCarron a bit of a run for
Hmm.
offensive rookie of the year. He didn't do bad his rookie season. I think he threw for 4,000 yards. Threw
Okay,
it
good.
like a bunch of times, almost 500 times. But he did have a good rookie season, and it just never matched that ever since. Still around, still kicking it. I don't think he'd be taken this high up again, especially with the potential. Well, maybe not. People see like their quarterbacks probably would overdraft him again. I don't think he's worth drafting when the talent like DeAndre Crichton, 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 whatever. He's an
Creighton.
outside linebacker. Originally, Mike drafted him in the second round, but he is a superstar, and that's why, despite him currently only being 76 overall, and I don't know if he's always been superstar. I believe he was, maybe not.
I think he was. I think he
Looking at
was.
his stats, I don't think he could have earned that.
Yeah.
Uh, there wasn't anything like standout seasons that's an amazing uh year. But I just think he is 20 four when he was drafted, which sucks. I really wish he was better uh and or younger, but he just wasn't devved as well as he really deserved to be. And I think taking him here uh gives Lions what was Joey come back. Uh, I think Joey would dev him a lot better and a lot closer to what he deserves.
I I know you yelled at Josh for that pick and Gabriel Michaels.
I mean, I don't. I only yell at Josh because he has his own rule.
Sure.
It's a
Yeah. Maybe this is
self-imposed
where the
rule.
rule came from. Um, but I think Gabriel Michaels, he's done I think in an actual role, right? He had one real season starting
Uh huh.
and he had 800 yards, 6 touchdowns, and that was when he was 25,
Yeah.
right? Like he was just kind of sitting behind Bell,
Yeah.
unfortunately. And I think in Detroit, we'd actually be able to become a workhorse right off the bat.
Cause was this
He
before
could
or
have
after
happened
the
differently.
carry-on trade?
This was
It was
I
around.
believe he had, I think it was after, because he has Cohen now, but that was within the last few seasons.
Mhm.
So he wouldn't have had to. I don't think he would have had to get Cohen. I think Gabriel Michaels would have been fine enough. I think as a starter he can produce. That 800-yard
Yeah,
season when he was 25 is not a. I don't think is a fluke. I think it's just a product of sitting behind Bell way too long and just falling to the wayside. You
for
still have Matt
sure.
Stafford in Detroit. Like, there's a shot.
Next up, we have Mike the Eagles. And Mike, he took Emmanuel Rainey, a linebacker that is not good, never panned out, no
Hmm.
bueno. So instead, we're gonna give him a good left end, Parrish Riley. Actually, initially drafted in the uh, late or the fifth round, I believe.
Yep, fifth round.
So it's like
Also Stulsa.
yeah, Salsa picked him. Got a lot of good pass rushes this draft. But no, Parrish Riley started off good. It's a surprise he fell this low. He was 72 overall to begin with, so that falling this far to start is an anomaly. It's not what should have happened. But it did happen, and I think now that we can correct it, I think Parrish Riley's a great fit for Mike this late in the draft.
I think that Mike sticks with offensive linemen. I think he goes Skylar Dawson, who you had way up in the
Oh yeah,
for the Colts. You had him at 13. I
Colts.
think he
Yep.
falls a little farther. He's consistent. He consistently gets a good amount of sacks off the edge, good amount of tackles, um, and I think Eagles definitely needed offensive line or offensive outside linebacker. Well, now I'm doing it, Tyler. How could you? Uh,
Oh no.
and Skylar Dawson's way better than Rainey is
Oh
at
no.
this
That's
point.
why I had him going. I mean, I had him
Yeah.
going high because of scarcity at the position,
Yep.
particularly. I guess in hindsight, depending on what rules you want to impose on yourself for this, uh, we didn't really know about this linebacker scarcity yet.
Sure. Yeah,
But
that's true.
again, I think he could fall anywhere between 13 or 23 because he's a good talent.
He
There's
is.
certainly better than ones left when I took him, but again, I think at 23 probably is his floor of where he could go, just because he is a linebacker, and linebackers are pretty coveted, even without knowing how hard they were to get this matted.
That's true.
Next up, we have what was for real. Uh, Now it's for reals on the uh,
The
Bears, but
Bears.
back then he was the Jaguars. Now it's
The
Jack,
G.
and
Yes.
say if Jack got a crack at this, seeing his troubles at the running back position, seeing a stud like Bell retire way earlier than he really should have, I think
Hmm.
here's where Gabriel Michaels goes. I think Jack would love to have a running back that doesn't retire on him after like the year he trades or a year or two after he trades for him.
Yeah,
Again, Michaels
that was
probably
sad.
will turn out a lot better than what Josh treated him.
I think if Jack had another shot at this, I think he would take a crack at Jeremiah Kilgore. I You're right, he did make a run at Offensive Rookie of the Year against Derek McCarron, which unfortunately was just a lost hope. He showed a lot of promise early on, and I think if he goes to the AFC where it's uncontested, he would have won Offensive Rookie of the Year easily, and that career trajectory I think differs than it is right now. Where I mean he's startable,
Oh,
I would
for
say. I
sure.
think he's not the worst quarterback. I think he's definitely a in the top 32 just off of stats. He consistently completes 70% completion percentage. Doesn't really turn the ball. He didn't turn the ball over his last year in Detroit that much. If any, like the fact that he was let go from Detroit on a 29-5 season
Yeah.
when he was getting sacked 52 times
Mhm.
and had a 70% completion percentage is kind of odd, but I understand that the
Yeah.
Detroit Lions wanted to move under new management. I think Jack would absolutely love to have a quarterback in Jeremiah Kilgore, and I don't think he would have that many number one picks in a row if he did.
Oh yeah. Next up we have me again. And
Not
sadly,
even for the last time.
yeah. Sadly my boy Kevin Vasher's long gone now, but I still need a receiver. My uh past Aguilar and Evans, it was pretty dry, and I wanted someone to throw to, especially for McCarron. Have a lot of good targets, and I think uh, Will Sherwood, with how he turned out, would not be a bad second to Vasher. Where Sherwood, now he's currently 77 overall. I actually drafted in the seventh, uh,
Hmm.
which is really insane. Tato picked him, uh,
So it's not that insane.
but it's he doesn't have that much evidence of what he can do except for 1 year. That 1 year he had a good, probably under Odell, under a few other good receivers that Tato of course has. I think Landry's still on that team. Uh, like I think Will Sherwood have given a shot, kind of like a lot of the other receivers here. He do just as maybe not just as good as Vasher. That's not fair. Vasher's special. Uh,
Yeah.
But I mean, he'd be all right. He wouldn't be a shameful pick. The star dev certainly helps.
I have you going with Corey Moody, who, because again, there was no competition in the AFC this year, that year. Won AFC Rookie of the Year. I mean, he definitely played well. He almost cracked 1,000 yards on 81 catches, 6 touchdowns. So he definitely would have at least been in contention
Yeah,
regardless.
I mean,
I
no.
think the reason,
Well,
I think,
oh,
I think, I think for sure he would have been a top two
it,
AFC Rookie of the Year.
if I picked him though,
Oh no,
McCarron
I'm
would
just saying, like,
quash him.
if there was competition, right?
Sure.
But I think he definitely wanted a receiver. That was
Yeah.
evidence with Vasher. Moody mimics Vasher in a lot of ways.
Uh huh.
He came out strong. I don't know why he keeps on regressing. And if you were able to maybe get a shot at him and
Yeah.
keep that going, maybe Moody just isn't a number one, and
Maybe.
maybe he is more built for that kind of Vasher role that you have him in now, or that you had him in early on, which was like a
Yeah.
slot type role where he's able to body out those slot corners. I think the things would go different because he when he came in, I believe he came in as the number two behind, or even maybe number one behind no one. So
Yeah.
that ability to kind of grow underneath an Evans might have changed what Moody is, who's now fourth on the depth chart, and he's just kind of fallen off, unfortunately.
For sure. Next up we have Dustin Steelers, and he originally picked Mitch Clinton, who we already picked. Mitch Clinton's a solid pick. I like him a lot. Uh, but instead, you can't pick Mitch Clinton, so you get Tyson Watson, another. Oh, I mean, not a lot to say about him. He's a tackle. He's okay. Nothing to
Really
really
starting to
write home
drop
about.
off, unfortunately.
He gets some decent. Last year, he had some really good sacks. That after he started taking some more meaningful snaps. Eight
Hmm.
sacks as a defensive tackle. I like him a lot. I think um, given some meaningful early on development, uh, I think Tyson Watson could actually do a lot better than he is now. I mean, he got drafted actually uh, 24th, so it's sad that he wasn't played as much as he should have. But yeah, just out of nowhere last season, got 8 sacks. So has that potential. I think given the right scheme, could kill it.
I agree with you on Watson. I think the Steelers made the right choice in going with a defensive tackle.
Yeah.
Tyson Watson, again, if he gets snaps early on in his career, which if they took Mitch Clinton and he developed the way he did, I think Tyson Watson would develop around similarly.
Mhm.
Um, because he was, I mean, definitely a project coming in, but so was Clinton.
Mhm.
Um, I think Steelers stick with this defensive tackle.
Yeah. Next up, uh we have the Panthers. We have Zach,
Hmm.
and Zach is gonna. I have him taking corner. Originally, he took a safety, and actually, we have him listed as a star because he is a star. But he only gained that star recently. So Dorsey was all right. But was hard to develop him because he was normal. So I think we're gonna make his life a little easier. We're going to have him pick Lindell Gordon, corner. He plays for Cardinals, drafted 210. I guess Lindell also gained Dev recently, not quite as late as uh, Dorsey, but I think as a player, Gordon's a great corner, good second best corner in this class, and a class filled with great defensive backs.
I have them going Gordon as well. Like you said, originally taken in the second round. It keeps with that defensive back that he wanted, and Gordon definitely developed better because he got started a year earlier,
Ooh,
right? Got started last year
he's a quick
or
riser.
2 years, 2 years, 2 years
Yeah.
ago. My bad.
He got it after 2022, right? I think
Yeah.
he
Yep.
gained it and then he had it throughout 2023 and 4 now.
Yes.
So yeah, decent pick. We're winding down, so the picks
Mm-hmm.
are a little more
Gonna get done
a
quicker.
little less exciting. I mean, not every pick's gonna be a Malcolm Grant, you know. Uh,
I mean, if
but
we
there's some nuance. Next up,
yeah.
we have was it no other one when we started?
No, it was Adam.
It was Adam. I'm sorry, Adam,
It was Adam.
but not really. Kinda. It was needed.
Love you, Adam.
If you're listening
Uh,
somehow, if
yeah,
you're
please.
stalking us, uh, that would be sad. But I don't care. If you want back in, hit me up. Um, but I have him going again. It's here we're in like the land of mediocre guards and O line. Or I should just say outside linebackers. Get that mixed up still. But no, I'm taking Edens, Rashawn Edens. He's again nothing that special. He's basically a normal O line, kinda alright. Uh, like he's serviceable. It's what you want, and nothing's like flashy. But it's Edens. He's all right.
Yeah, it's O-line. It's late. It's late first O-line. What more can you say? I have them going Parrish Riley here.
I like Fish Riley.
Again, this was before the Aaron Donald switch to outside line or outside line, left end. So maybe Donald keeps in that defensive tackle slot and lets Riley give it a crack at it from that against those right tackles as Donald demands triple teams because real players broke. Uh, I think the Rams have needed a second around Donald from the beginning,
Yeah.
and I think they come back and they fix that wrong that they've passed on for so long.
Uh huh. Well, next up we have Zach again, and initially he took Richard Warren, wide receiver. And well, Richard Warren's kind of panned out. I think there's still better receivers left to take in this redraft. And I'm taking the other receiver I didn't, or Alex picked for me that I didn't take, and I'm picking Corey Moody for him. They both end up in the South. Again,
That's true.
Moody isn't. It's a good, decent receiver. He started off fast. Alex already said it. Uh, that's not that much to say. He's shown he can do some high level receiver stuff, get some decent yards. But if treated right, he could probably end up being way better. But huh?
I had who you mocked to yourself. I think Will Sherwood is a first round talent for sure. Star Dev. He showed flashes when Odell Beckham was out for. I think Tyler. I think that was half the year.
Was it?
And yeah, I think Odell Beckham was half the year he went out, and Sherwood had to start.
Mm-hmm.
And in that he put up 71 catches, 633 yards,
Yeah.
6 touchdowns. Now, granted, there's probably a little more games in that other half where he racked up a few more. But I mean, that year that Odell went down showed something special in him.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if he was able to actually start from the get-go, I think Sherwood would climb a lot of ladders.
Oh yeah.
Would have climbed a lot of ladders. But we both have wide
Next
receiver.
up we have Ravens again. Initially took Ronaldo brothers. Um,
No one gets that joke.
yeah. But he probably goes back to defense. I don't think he. There's no talent quite, at least from what have left, that's anywhere near as good as brothers. It's
Mm-mm.
just all the O line. I did it again. I did it again.
Yep.
Linebackers. They're all gone. There's no one good left, at least for me. So he gets actually a really good talent here. Bubba Love. Bubba's good. Bubba's pretty solid. Um, kind of overshadowed by other defensive backs, but Bubba Love is definitely worth playing, and he can make. He's gotten some good interception seasons. Um, and the normal dev kind of tanks him. Not
Mm-hmm.
quite as exciting as has. He really should be based how he's playing, but again, normal dev tanks him. He started out decent. I guess he was a natural 74 overall. Shame that normal
Yeah.
dev kept him from being something special.
I have to. I keep with the Ravens on defense. I keep with them going outside linebacker. Um, I think they take the natural born superstar in DeAndre Creighton. Again, you had him going around 22 to the Lions. He's not really done a lot in terms of pass rushing ability. He seems more like a run stopper to me.
Sure.
And while he is a natural born superstar, so maybe, that changes.
It
Or
just
that could have
seems like
changed
he's
coming back. He was
underutilized.
old. Yeah, I don't know what's happening in Philly for him. He had so much potential coming in. Uh, Started out as a 70. Now, granted, again, like you said, he was 24.
He elderly, but I mean, a superstar he
But
should be
But
higher than that.
Haynes turned out fine.
Yeah, like no,
There's no
Haynes his
reason why
rookie
a
season
linebacker.
it was like
Yeah,
already up to 80 before he even got X
yeah.
Factor.
So I don't know if because he was a second rounder, he just didn't find the field early on
Yeah,
or anything like that. But I think with the Ravens needing that outside linebacker help, DeAndre Creighton would have given them maybe similar production. Probably not because Ronaldo Brothers is really good, but at least
yeah,
something worthy of being a first round pick for sure.
uh huh. I mean, that's why I had him higher up. The potential
Hmm.
aspect, because it's like the big question mark. It's like, if he was done right, would he have actually
Yeah,
been way better than he is? It's a shame we don't get to know that. But
yeah.
next up, we have Seattle. I believe Patriots traded this pick away to Seattle, and Seattle just picked Bean, Deontay Bean. Again, mediocre line, man. Like it's not exciting, nothing to run home about. So it's nap time. I'm picking the. I guess I really they're kind of a trio. Uh,
Yeah.
Alex and I. kind of have him in different places. But the last of the trio for me, Shaquille Rucker. Alex likes him, probably a little biased. And I mean, I'm biased about my players too. Uh,
Yeah.
he's turned out fine. Good, actually, from what he should have been. Like, he should have been probably not as good as he ended up being. But, here we are. Shaquille Rucker he turned out 78 normal so far. Alright, nothing. Like, again, just nap time. Uh, it's O-line, it's first round O-line, late first especially.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, I have him kind of paired with Edens and Colbert. With those
Hmm.
three are kind of like near each other in like terms of ability and age and talent, and just are kept down by Dev for the most part. So
Yeah.
take your pick.
I would say that the Seahawks would take Derek Colbert again. Nap time, like you said. He's 25. He's very powerful. Uh, and he's powerful with run blocking, which seems to be what Brian wanted to build this team
Oh
around.
yeah, no, bro. I tried to get Chris
Um,
Carson from him, and he's like, "Nope,
yep.
I am not giving. I want Penny and Chris Carson." He
Hmm.
wanted them both.
And I think Colbert would be a lot better as he at least offers some run blocking ability that unfortunately Shaquille Rucker just doesn't offer. Shaquille Rucker's a strict. Like I could probably start him at right tackle and
Yeah.
he'd be fine because of his pass blocking
Uh
abilities.
huh.
He has no run blocking abilities whatsoever, um, and I just don't see that as someone being so run determined like Brian is to go towards him.
Sure.
I think Colbert would for sure. No, granted, there really isn't anyone left
That's why
that
it's
he could
like,
have
yeah,
taken
I picked
outside of
Rucker because
Rucker.
it's like
Rucker's a great guard. It's just not who I'd see for Brian.
it's the BPA at O line.
Yep, exactly.
It's like it's too much boring O line, and it's like you can get into the nuances of like, oh, it's running or what's pass blocking or whatever. It's like, yeah,
Yeah,
it's still probably best to take the best overall O line, no
that's
matter what
true.
you
I
want to
agree with
do.
that. Yeah.
And last but not, well, probably least, we're least. We're definitely
I
least.
mean, the original pick was definitely least.
It was a sad boy. Well, it wasn't the. It was definitely not the worst pick in this draft.
I mean, what has he done?
He could have done
Like,
more. He
could
should
he?
have done more. It wasn't his fault. I picked Braden Rhodes, and he was fine. He like started off like a lot of these other
63
players.
sacks.
It was like fine. Again, it was the end of there's not a lot of talent that was really
No.
obvious. It's like this is a for sure thing. Rhodes is like
Yeah.
but like again he got overshadowed. I've drafted other players that kind of got better playing time based off their dev. I mean, when he
Hmm.
actually half started a little bit, he got some decent sacks. Like when he got some playing time, it's not like he was complete trash. But again, he's Rhodes. He's not great. He's not sexy. I don't would take him again because he's just not that good.
Yeah.
He's just eh. But at the end of that round, it's like, I mean, I guess I did take Vasher the next pick for what it's worth. So, but yeah, Rhodes is, I guess, that point in justifying it. Probably could have been if I decided to stick with them. Could have been
I
like a
mean, you were
77
deving
or
two other.
8.
You were probably deving three other people outside of Rhodes
Oh
because like
yeah,
you were
no,
definitely deving
he was
McCarron,
not definitely the odd
definitely
man out.
deving.
I picked
Yeah, and
Vasher
Vasher, you were probably
based
deving as
off of
well.
Devilload. He got kind of
Hmm.
screwed in that department. Just kind of the odd man out. I mean, I didn't expect Vasher to be as good as he was when I picked him.
Exactly.
So it's like, yeah. But instead, I take what originally was the it was high up. It was where is he? There he is. 13th pick, Cornell Melton. Again, he just turned. He's a fine pick. There's not a lot of talent left here. Uh, like Melton's like a character. He's a guy. He's 79 overall. He'll play. I feel weird just being like dismissing all these players, but like at this point, they're just like roster fillers. Like they'll play fine. Honestly, Rhodes is probably like on par with them, at least not overall, but at least in talent. What they
Yeah,
could do, like the numbers will probably be similar. Melton's better probably, but not impressive. Definitely not worth the original 13th pick. Shame he got normal, but okay, could never really be anything. Just not exciting.
I have you going because I mean you took retirement home
Yeah.
Haynes for a reason. I think you do take Derek Dorsey, so he sticks in the
Well, I mean,
South.
I took Haynes because he was
He's
best player available.
well because he was old. Yeah, I understand. But I know it goes against you. You took a 21-year-old safety, 70 overall at start. I think because he was 21 and just the way your defense was early on, where
Yeah.
it's gotten better. It's definitely gotten better. Um, but I believe early on you really didn't have a lot of pass rush.
I mean, we had some
Not like you have
alright
now.
pass rush.
Yeah.
Nothing insane, but we had. I brought back McCoy that year. I brought back uh who was it? Oh, I mean Vay, of course. Vay's always
Hmm.
up the middle, can get to the quarterback, but yeah, it's nothing too spectacular.
Yeah.
But I'm
I think you take at least a free safety. You wanted someone for a reason. Uh, Dorsey's the best player that I have left in that regard in terms of that
the
backfield.
reason I didn't is because he got lucky with Dev recently,
Sure.
and I
Yeah,
don't know. You could be
understandable.
like he could get that earlier. I'm not convinced. He's okay. He's fine. Nothing.
Yep.
Yeah, it's just not that exciting. Kind of not a great safety compared to what's left
No.
or what was earlier. I'm sad I wasn't able, or in this I wasn't. I'd not be as anywhere near as happy as I was following the real draft.
Oh, for
Like
sure.
God, my picks are so much worse than what
I
I
mean,
got.
I mean, all your first. I mean, three out of your four picks were, I mean, first rounders. Vasher and all of them, I believe, were
Vasho's too, but yeah, two
top
one.
20. Yeah, but they were top 20 picks. Like three of your picks are top 20. Salsa's next with having two picks be top 20.
Uh huh.
So, I mean,
I
you
don't know.
had a great draft. I agree.
I definitely killed
Uh,
it.
yeah.
Especially I took a lot of risks, and most of the risks paid off, except for Rhodes. But again, what else was? If you look at who was left, other even the good players, it's like
Yeah.
there wasn't even a lot that was drafted. Like, I guess I probably could have picked Crichton or Dorsett, maybe,
Hmm.
maybe Moody, probably not Moody, or maybe Rucker. They're all just like there.
Yep.
Like, it wasn't like there was a lot of talent that was obvious and easy. So like, you have that, and for what I had, it's like it worked.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's the whole first round. Uh, I don't know. I had fun with this, especially the first half.
Yeah.
The first half is like this was definitely a top heavy class. Lots of nap time towards the second half.
For
Uh,
sure.
I'm sorry if I offended your original pick or your redraft pick, and I gave you a sleepy player. Uh,
Yep. Yeah.
you
Uh,
can blame this Madden for not making a more exciting class. Uh, at least
I
filled
agree.
with
Yeah.
32 exciting to the brim players. But there's some good players here. Grant's
Hmm.
classic. Hewitt, I love Hewitt. I think Hewitt's a classic. I don't know. There's someone I'm probably forgetting about, but
Let us know if you'd like to do this again for other
I do.
years.
Yeah. Again, this is probably, even though It's the first,
This is
probably not the most
yeah.
exciting draft class. I'm
No.
excited. I that one. I think it was 2023. The defensive heavy
Hmm.
class. The one
Yeah.
where who did I pick? I picked up Sharif Watson, I believe, in that class. That one. That was a fun one. I'm excited. I definitely
Was
want
a
to
good one.
redraft that
Yeah.
because that had
Let's see
so
here.
much talent.
I mean, I think we have to redraft the year after because that was the quarterback class that really
Oh yeah,
blew things up.
all
Like that's the
three.
Bishop, Dowdy, Starkey, and Jamario
Yeah.
class. Yeah, that's the next year. That is the next year.
Was Rocco in that one?
Uh,
Did you? Oh, you said
no,
Gardner.
Rocco was in the year after.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. He was the lone that
Yeah,
year.
yeah, pretty much he was the lone quarterback. Um,
But no, those or I guess four guys because it was Dowdy, Bishop, Starkey, and
it
Jamario.
was Dowdy Bishop's. Yeah, exactly. The four
I mean,
quarterbacks.
four decent to great starting quarterbacks.
Yeah,
It's interesting. So we'll probably do another one of these pretty soon. Yeah,
for
let
sure.
us know. So thanks for
That's it.
sticking with our bad hot takes, our bad badmins thing. I don't know how to end this, so see you
Check
later.
out the
See you.
Broncos Chiefs game that probably will happen tonight.
Is it
Hopefully,
happening tonight?
I believe so. If Salsa's home and Chiefs wanted to do it, so
Cool.
I'd be down for it.
Well, yeah, or if not, see you in chat. See you on the field. Whatever.
Hmm.
Bye.